always thought gardens were places of peace and beauty, but this garden, this private one I was guarding, was where I faced my nightmares every night. I, a 40-year-old man who had spent my entire life in bustling cities, never imagined that silence could be so terrifying. Every night, when everyone went to their homes and the lights went out one by one, I was left alone with that entity, an entity that seemed to be made of shadows. Its body resembled a human's, but at the same time it was neither human nor animal. Its face was something I couldn't remember because every time I tried to look at it, its black and endless eyes would draw me in. At night, when I heard its footsteps, I wanted to scream, but my voice would get stuck in my throat. It was as if fear itself was spreading through the air in place of my voice. And I, with a flashlight that emitted only a faint light, knew I shouldn't look for it, because every time the light hit it, it seemed to swallow the light and make the darkness grow. I still don't know what that entity is, or why it's here. Maybe I'm the only one who can see it. Maybe this garden is a gateway to another world. Maybe that shadowy entity is the guardian who maintains the boundary between two realms. And I, unknowingly, have stepped into this border. Every night, with each step I took in the garden, I felt something in the darkness following me. Not just the sound of the entity's footsteps, but whispers that seemed to emerge from the earth itself. A voice I couldn't understand, but I knew had a message for me. One night, when the moonlight broke through the clouds and spread its silvery light over the garden, I saw the shadows take on strange shapes, and that shadowy entity, it seemed to grow stronger in the moonlight. It stood there, right in the center of the garden, where no flowers grew and only charred, black soil was visible. I knew I shouldn't approach it, but my legs moved towards it on their own. When I got close, I saw its black eyes shining with stars, and a voice whispered in my head, clearer this time, "Guardian." That was the only word I understood. At that moment, I felt a cold wind blow from behind me, and a vague murmur reached my ears. I turned around and saw that the shadowy entity had now moved a few steps closer. Its black and endless eyes seemed to be speaking to me without moving its lips. "Are you the Guardian?" echoed a voice in my head, a voice that came from nowhere and yet was everywhere. "You are the one who must stay, the one who must see." With fear rooting deep within me, I asked, "What must I see? Who are you?" The entity, with a slow and measured movement, extended a hand towards me, a hand that seemed to be made of smoke and mist. I am the guardian of this gate, and you must see what lies beyond." At that moment, I felt the ground beneath me tremble, and a sound like the earth's growl reached my ears. I looked down and saw the black and charred soil begin to move. Shadows emerged from it, shadows without form or feature, but each seemed to have a story to tell. The entity looked at me and said, "The time has come for you, the new guardian, to see what awaits this world. The time has come for you to shoulder this responsibility." And I, with a fear that was turning into curiosity, stepped towards those shadows. With each step, I felt the world I knew shrinking behind me. The shadows surrounded me, and the whispers grew louder. "Guardian, the new guardian." When I reached the center of the black, scorched earth, I saw the shadows gathered around as if waiting for me. The shadowy entity with its deep black eyes gestured to me and said, "It's your turn to see, your turn to know." At that moment, the ground beneath me started to move, and I realized I was falling, a fall that seemed to have no end. As I fell, the voices and whispers told me stories from other worlds, from other times, When I came to, I found myself in a place devoid of light, where only shadows ruled, and I, the new guardian, now knew my duty, a duty I must perform forever, a duty I could never escape. And so it was that I, the guardian of the private garden, became the guardian of a gateway between worlds. And my story is one that never ends, for each new guardian that comes adds their tale to this endless chain.